Mic check, mic check. Good morning, good evening, good night. Whatever time you decide to listen is a good time. Dear Love Podcast, catch it on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Google, Listen Notes, the whole nine. Let's get right into it. What's the age you started actually using the phone? I remember I touched on this before about my first cell phone being I think it was a Revel. It was like the phone that everybody had, the Kyocera. It had those certain ringtones. Everybody had that phone. The bill was like $50 a month. But when is the actual time, like you could say you jumped into the telephone era? When did it become like a thing for you? I had to be like 14. Now, I was using it before then, obviously, but around like 14 is when it was a serious thing. Had a best friend named Ashley, elementary school. Her mom taught me how to talk on the phone. I would always call somebody and say, "Who is this?" instead of saying, "Hello, can I speak to?" But people used to go along with it, so I kept doing it. They answer the phone. "Hello, who is this?" "Oh, this such and such." "Oh, okay, can I speak to such and such?" It's like I had to know who was at their house. So one day she said, "That's not how you talk on the telephone, baby. When you call somebody, you say, 'Hey, how are you doing? I would like to speak to.'" Like, can you remember where you learned how to use the phone? Forget just using the phone. We still had to learn it like it was some type of math problem or something. Because that was my favorite thing to do. Just tell people, like, "Who is this?" "Okay, can I speak to such and such?" And I did that for a while. But again, that was back when having a best friend that was a girl that wasn't, you know, bisexual or anything. I feel like that was a time where you could actually have a friend like that. So her mom showed me, or sis, I think it was her sister. Sister told me how to ask. And then she like, "Okay, now hang up the phone and call back, and we're going to try this again." I'm like, "All right." So we hang up. It rings. She like, "Hello?" I'm like, "Who is this?" Dear Love, episode 34. Yeah, I was real stubborn. Oh, well, and I think that girl was kind of, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, as I got older, the phones got to be like more of a need. So when I got to like that 15, 16 age bracket, before I had got the cell phone, I was like always on the house phone, to the point where when my mom would get off, I'd jump back on. And then if somebody called her, I say, "Oh, well, she's not here, so you got to call her back." I'm just lying because like I'm having a phone conversation. And I used to be on the phone all night for no reason. Just, I mean, on three-way. That's when that became popular to me too. Like, oh man, you could talk to more than one person on the phone. So I was at that stage of like talking to girls like through my friends, or everybody's friend had a girl, or hey, she got a friend. So like you had phone relationships. How many people have had a phone relationship where it was more so you never seen the person? Y'all just like talked on the phone for a while, got to know each other. And it's a shame we don't really talk that way anymore, because I think it makes you realize if you really care for the person without physical appearance or not. Because back then, I loved everybody. I mean, if we talked on the phone for a while, "Hey, I love you. I love you too." It's like, man, we didn't know what the hell love was back then. But on the phone for hours, I mean hours, just talking, talking, talking. So then me and a couple of my guy friends would get on the phone and talk about games and stuff like that. So this person say, "Oh, let me call David," or "Oh, let me call Justin," or "Oh, let me call this person, that person." And we just all on the phone just chopping it. Now, you wasn't a real phone person unless you actually had to sneak and talk on the phone. I used to sneak all the time. it'd be like real late, or my mama say a certain time you can't talk. So, and I know everybody's done this. Like, let's not act stupid. So I would be on the phone with a girl. Like, you got to play it like, oh, my mom said I could talk late. It's the weekend. I could talk as long as I want to, knowing I still had to be off the phone, weekend or not. So you would do slick shit like try to hold the receiver down and then let it go as soon as it rings so you could hurry up and answer. Or we had a cordless phone, so I keep the phone with me, and then my mother asks for it. I'd be like, damn, I gotta sneak and get it. Or what was my favorite? Oh, this is my favorite one right here. I would call somebody and just talk on the phone until she calls back. That way, the phone doesn't ring. Or I just stay on the phone and like try to call the voicemail or something. I mean, anything I had to do so this girl, would call back and I answer without really getting in trouble. But it's kind of fucked up because it's like, what if she don't call back? Now you're just sitting there. Then you had the girls or just the people in general who would call knowing you said you can't talk late. They call anyway. And they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry. Or, oh, I apologize. So luckily for me, a couple times I got caught. Like, let's say by my dad, he wouldn't snitch me out or nothing. He'd just give me the phone and then dog me later. But my mom would do stuff like, hey, okay, baby, now, you got to call at a decent time. And she'd give me that look, here, Teray. Like, it's only 4 a.m. Damn, why y'all so uptight? But yeah, sneaking on the phone was like, I'm sure everybody has done it, sneaking and call somebody or all of that. Or, hey, call me back at this time. I mean, we've done it all. Then we elevate to getting cell phones where parents still feel like they had control over our cell phones. So what you would do is try to get, like, if you weren't paying the bill, you would try to get the other parent to pay. So then when they ask you could be like, my dad paid for this phone, or no, my mama paid for this. You can't tell me why do we feel like people can't tell us what to do? Like, the phone is not in our name. Especially at that age, we got to know that the phone is in our parents' name, so, or whoever his name is, so they definitely can tell us what to do with the phone. I mean, it's kind of self-explanatory. But yeah, cell phones was a wild time. Everybody was getting them. And like I said, I started off with a little Kyocera. It was cool. Dad got me the basic plan, like call waiting and voice. That's when voicemail was a plan. Like, you could actually have a phone with no voicemail. But I had voicemail. I had free texting. Like, this was like a real phone to me, because before I had like little minute stuff like that. But this was a real phone where I can kind of do what I wanted. So I was like happy to tell people what my number was. So, when you first give your number out, you got that feeling like, yeah, I can't wait till the one girl hit me up or stuff like that. And it's your dad calling. It's like, come on, Dad, man, damn. Like, I want somebody else to call me. Now, remember when the chirps came out? Whew. I stayed in trouble with a Nextel. Everybody had the different covers, like the racing car, and that, man, you want to talk about flipping phones? That's when niggas was really flipping phones, because, like, you would buy the racing car one off a nigga, and you could just slip your SIM card in there, and you automatically rolling. I don't know how Nextel went out of business or how Boost got bought out, because that was, like, the hood shit. Like, everybody had a chirp. Only thing I hated was, man, as soon as you chirp, that take a day of your stuff, man. You know how you had the little minutes on there and the dollar plans and stuff, man. It's like chirping took $1 for the day. It's like, damn. That's when everybody was on minutes. Niggas had like 6 or 7 chirp phones. Oh, and let's not get into the ringers that was on there. You had to have a ringer for your chirp. Everybody walking up and down the hallways holding they chirp, listening to their little songs and stuff. And that's when your voicemails, you had the radio playing with the song on there. That's when ringtones was selling. Like, phones came far as hell, man. Now we don't even need phones. Niggas is doing all type of shit. We talking to niggas all type of different ways. The hell with phones. Like, we don't need to get people's phone numbers no more. I remember one time I was talking to somebody, I said, well, what's your number? He said, man, shit, man, just hit me up on the gram. No, nigga, what's your number so I could call you? I don't care to like you. It's like to show somebody you like them, you got to follow them. Or you got to, send them a message through there. Like, oh, yeah, we talking on here. No, I'm trying to talk to you, not your little box picture of all your little perfect pictures, because you only going to put up good ones anyway. Phones, man. And then when the phones really got advanced with internet and games, remember the little games that we had on there? That's when you was like on the games kind of heavy, because you didn't have like more of the or most of the advanced ones that we see now. You had like the little ping pong type games and little stuff like that. I can't remember if you could like send it to friends or anything, but you had a couple little games on there, because at this time it wasn't no YouTube or nothing like that. So I'm trying to think, like, man, we actually used phones for what we were supposed to use them for. Then I ended up getting a Blackjack from AT&T. That's when like the little Palm Pilots and little Palm type phones was in. And that one was best for like emailing and business type of things. Plus the camera was pretty cool. So you had the camera that you could use. Then I remember it was one called, what the hell was it? Was it the G1? What, a G1 and a G2? The sidekicks that came out. It was, phones was pretty cool, but the more and more phones got advanced, the more and more it got advanced for those phone relationships. It's like, all right, don't forget the whole send me a pic era. You gotta send me a pic. Soon as you meet somebody, but hey, what's up with you? Hey, what's up? Shit. You got a dog? No. You got a cat? No. All right, send me a pic. It's like you ask whatever random question first, but they all gonna lead to that send me a pic. Just send me a pic. What's so hard about sending a pic, right? Then you get the, oh, my camera don't work, or my hair ain't done. Oh, bitch, please. I don't want to hear that. Hair done or not, send me a pic. Show me what you look like. I'll show you what I look like. Or the most famous one, send me a picture first. It's like, listen, baby, send a picture or you not. So it was times like a girl is sending a picture, and it's fucked up because that's when you would try to listen to their voice to see what they look like, because you couldn't get a picture, so you would determine it by their voice. And it was kind of fucked up because it's like once you send the picture, you kind of putting yourself in harm's way, because if they don't like you, you just don't get one back. Then if you get one back, you kind of be like, all right, I think I'm in there. And then they stop texting you. Dear love, T. Shaw, I'm out of here.